for the Machina deck itself, we are curious to see who is going first. It seems that Ziho is the one that is starting the game first. So he proceeds on to summon a new Machina monster from our recent booster releases, which is that is Machina Revenger. Resavenger, sorry, Resavenger. And he set 2 cards and end his turn. So Mokinho is actually playing Prankcase, and he starts off with the Prankcase house. So Prankcase, in a way, with Prankcase house, right, is actually quite omnipotent to Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Why? Is because when a Prankcase is being used as a link material, probably to summon Meow Meow, right? Then they can chain one of the Prankcase effect and chain 2 house, thus preventing, alright, Ziho from activating Ash Blossom against one of the Prankcase summoning effects from the deck some more.
So Yanho summons Droplets, and Ziho responds immediately with a Machina trap.
Machina Overdrive, which is he can target 1 machine monster he controls and special summon 1 Machina monster with a different name from hand or deck. Then if you do, destroy the targeted monster.
So this play will
allows him to summon out the new Machina Citadel. So Machina Citadel is, again, it's a quick effect. He can target 1 machine monster he controls and destroy both the machine monster and all monsters the opponents control with an attack less than or equal to it. So Machina's Citadel is targeting itself to destroy itself and destroy Droplets as well. And we all know that Prankcase's normal summon is very precious. Is they have to use it to normal summon to go into a link summon. But from this, Mokho managed to go for fusion summon with the Prankcase Pandemonium.
Using another 2 different Prankcases as fusion material from his hand.
Correct. So he's using Lamseys and Fancies as the materials to fusion summon the Rocket. Prankcase's Rocket Ride.
So now he will be doing chain blocking with the Prankcase monsters as well as the field card.
Correct. And the field card will actually boost all the fusions monsters attack by, I think, 800 points. Just let me double check it. 500 points. So at this point of time, I mean, he hasn't used Droplets effect, so you probably will use one of them to summon out Droplets, and the other one should summon out Roxy's. Dropsies and Roxy's. And then Prankcase's combo is actually also quite simple. So from then on, Rocket Ride can actually tribute itself to bring back another 2 more of the Prankcases. What is your initial impression of Prankcase, Jason?
There's 2 variants of Prankcase that people play. So typically there's one variant where it's more hand trap heavy. They go for the link summon play, and the other variant would be a mix of polymerization, so that you could still make a fusion play. Yes. So it's still hard to tell which variant Yanho is playing because he's using Pandemonium, and we have not seen polymerization yet.
Understood. But I think polymerization, because it's a bit more consistent to keep on drawing out the fusion spell in a way. Am I correct?
No.
You have more avenue to fusion summon instead of relying on just Pandemonium, right?
Yes.
So I guess Dropsies brought upon another Lamseys, and he has used Meow Meow Moo, and Roxy's to go into a Doodadoo. Doodadoo. Sorry, Doodadoo. So he's using chain 1 Dodo Doodle-Doos effect and chain 2 Roxy, which Roxy will be able to special summon. But first, he will need to banish 1 card from the hand and to draw 1 card and then special summon 1 Prankits from the deck. And Dodo Doodle-Doo searches for the Prankits Prank. The Prankits Prank, actually I felt that the Prankits, instead of a combo deck, is more of a tempo deck in my opinion. Sure, they have 1 card combo to go into a good board, but their board is probably enough for like a disruption because they're going to go into a Battle Butler, right? Then they are also able to search for their draw power like Prankits Prank, which can shuffle cards back to the deck, replenishing their resource and then giving them an additional card as a result of that. So Roxy's called upon Lamses, I guess the Lamses. And Dodo's effect activates to tribute itself, so they can take back 2 of the Prankit cards from the graveyard and add it back to the hand. At this point in time, I feel that his last play should be using the remaining 2 Prankits as a link material to link summon out Bow Wow Bug, because Bow Wow Bug is the monster that is able to tribute itself during your opponent's turn to retrieve 2 Prankits card back to the hand also as well. Okay, so Yanho actually tributes off the Rocket Ride to bring back Roxy's and Dodo Doodle-Doo. So he uses the 2 of the newly revived monsters as materials to link summon Bow Wow Bug. I think I know where is he going for. He's probably leaving Lamses and Fancies on the field. It's because during the next turn he will use the Bow Wow Bug to retrieve 2 of the Prankits back to hand, right? He doesn't need to retrieve any more Lamses and Fancies. He can just use the Pandemonium that he has already retrieved, okay, to go for fusion summon of Battle Butler in the next turn. Right, he uses Bow Wow Bug to go for attack. Bow Wow Bug is only at 2,000 attack points.
Alright, the damage goes through.
Yep. But before that, actually, Lamses has already dealt 500 damage. So now Tang Ziho has actually received a total of 3,000 damage this time, I guess. 2,500 damage this turn. Because Prankit's house actually didn't add the attack over previously. So during the end phase of the turn, Yanho activates the Prank's effect to target 3 of his Prankit's cards in the grave, monsters in grave, shuffle them back into the deck and allows him to draw 1.
So he has 1 set count on the field and it's very likely it's a Pandemonium.
Yes. And you mentioned there's actually 2 builds to a Prankit's deck, right? So I feel with the amount of cards that he's setting down, he could be the more of the... Which version do you mention that played more hand traps? Is it the
Link variant.
This could be just the Link variant itself. We know that he has drop Cs in his hand, okay, and now he has Fancies and Lamses. So, and we know Pandemonium is set face down. Oh!
So he opens with a Urgent Schedule.
Yet Urgent Schedule. He has the Roughen Rail Car.
And is deciding on what his second card could be.
Correct. So the Urgent Schedule is if your opponent controls more monsters than you, can actually spare summon 1 level 4 lower and 1 level 5 or higher Earth Machine monsters from the deck in defense mode.
So it seems that Ziho's deck is not just a Machina deck, but he has a good mixture of trains in as well.
Yes. Reminds me a lot of Anna from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zell. So he actually summons out the heavy freight train demi crane before Derry crane. Okay. So he activates Bow Bugs effect. Yan Ho activates Bow Bugs effect to retrieve 2 Prankits cards from the grave back to the hand. So I think he's already preparing for Pandemonium. Okay, and then Ziho actually reveals a Super Express Bullet Train. So if all monsters he controls are Earth Machine, he can special summon it from the hand. It's a really big 3000 attack points monster. However, he probably would not be using it to attack, because if he does, then he has to send 2 other cards he controls to the graveyard. So he probably use it for Exit Summon or Link Summon in the first place.
Yan Ho goes for his Pandemonium.
Yeah, and he is going to use his Battle Blaster effect later on. But now he's activating each of his Prankits, Lamseys, Fancies, and Dropseys effect to con another Prankits from the deck. He uses Battle Butler's effect, and then he's trying to substitute the cost with Meow Meow Moo in a graveyard, because Meow Meow Moo is able to prevent the monster they're using from tributing itself for the effect. And also, do you know that after Bow Wow Bug actually uses the effect, he has an additional effect, is that all Prankits monster you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects this turn after retrieving. Yeah, so it's like if you also use it with the other fusion monster in the first place, like the Prankits Weather Washer, it then prevents your Prankits from being destroyed by battle. So yeah, Battle Butler uses the effect, and Meow Meow Moo is banishing itself to substitute the cost that is supposed to be paid by Battle Butler. So if this goes through, Ziho will have his whole field of monsters wiped by Battle Butler's effect. And he activates the Machina Citadel. Is he able to activate it? I think maybe he's trying to activate the Machina Citadel's effect, because if the face-up Earth monster you control except Machina Citadel is destroyed by Battle card effect, you can special summon this card. So he did special summon it, and he brings back the Machina Citadel. However, in this turn, all of Yan Ho's monsters, right, they are actually protected by Bow Wow Bug from effect destruction. So Citadel is not able to destroy or wipe all his monsters this turn. Okay, so Ziho summons, I think it's our old favorite, Gear Frame?
Yes, Gear Frame.
Yeah.
This will allow him to add a Machina monster from deck to hand.
Yep. So do take note that he hasn't normal summon any monsters this turn. But I think there's also one thing to take note, is that actually Ziho, right, he cannot declare any attacks this turn that you activate this card except with machine monsters. So yeah, his whole deck is machine, he won't suffer any of the demerit.
Would that be the new card that you mentioned earlier before the match?
Ah, is that the Machina Ruin Force? I think it seems to be like it, yeah. So this is the Machina Ruin Force. Basically, it cannot be special summon, normal summon or set. It must be special summon from the graveyard by banishing machine monsters from graveyard whose total level equals 12 or more. I mean, it's easy to do so, seeing that he's even playing the trains in the first place, which are easily level 10 already. So it's easy to summon out. But how is he going to send the Machina Ruin Force to the graveyard? Does he have Fortress? But okay, Yan Ho activates the Battle Butler's effect again. This time he doesn't have another Meow Meow Moo, because Meow Meow I think is once per turn only. Then he tributes it to destroy the whole field. So Fortress is now sending Reinforce and itself to the graveyard to revive itself back. And Reinforce is banishing machine monsters equal to the level of 12 or more to revive itself from the graveyard.
That was a fantastic play by Ziho earlier on.
Yeah.
He uses a Gear Frames effect to equip to Citadel, and that forces Yan Ho to preemptively use his
Battle Butler to destroy it.
His effect.
Yes.
So now that Battle Butler has used his effect twice, he's now free to make his Rune Force play.
Correct. And even this so, right, now it is, Ziho actually has a disruption of field. Reinforce effect is actually quite absurd in the thing is that if your opponent actually activates a card effect during the battle phase itself, okay, you can pay half life points to negate the activation. And if you do, then your opponents also half the life points. So I guess Ziho is now using them for a link summon.
That seems to be the only places they are of
correct
different levels.
Also, do you know that the Machina's Reinforce, right? It is not a once per turn to special summon itself.
Oh, as long as you have enough material in the graveyard?
Yes, as long as you have enough machines which is level 12 or more, when you combine and banish them, you can bring back as many times as you want. The only effects that are restricted to once per turn is when it's the negation effect. And if Machina Reinforce is being destroyed by battle or card effect, he can special summon up to 3 of his banished Machina monsters whose total level equal to 12 or less. Are you able to see what is that card, Jason?
No, I'm not very sure.
Okay, let's hope to take a closer look at later on. That could be a Clifford, I think. Or is it a Machina monster? Let's see. I think that's a Machina.
I believe that's a new train link to
from
LVP2.
Okay. The new railway, Anganagar. Let me check. So basically, it's just 2 machine monsters, and it cannot be used as a link material. So during the main phase, you can send 1 monster from the hand or field to the graveyard, then target 1 level 10 machine monster and to bring it back in defense position. So he actually brought back the Machina Citadel. Okay. Then if this card is in a grave, you can send 1 card from your hand or field to the graveyard and special summon this card back. So basically, this is like your every turn revival for level 10 machine monster.
So as you mentioned, now he uses a Rune Force effect again
to bring himself back, and then he's going for an exit summon. So that is actually Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Super Dora. So Super Dora's effect is actually able to protect itself. Okay, once per turn quick effect, you can detach 1 material and then target 1 face-up monster on the field. That target is unaffected by card effects except its own until the end of the turn. So at this point of time, he's protecting himself quite well, because Super Dora actually has 4,000 defense points. Though actually, if he allowed the Citadel to stay on the field, right, the Citadel actually has a quick effect to destroy stuff during the opponent's turn. And if he allowed Reinforce to stay, he actually can negate stuff, but it only happens during the battle phase, sadly.
Oh, is that the new Brave card?
So that's the Brave Aquamancer, which is searched for the right of Aramesia.
Seems like he's not playing a pure Prankits either, and it's a new variant that splashes
the new cards, the right of Aramesia, which activates that will search for your Journey of Destiny. Actually, it makes sense. You know why? The Prankits token are common, normal monsters, right? You can discard a card to produce a token. Okay, so the right of Aramesia will then search for the Journey of Destiny. But first, if he controls no Brave token, he can special summon 1 Brave token. And then if he does not control a Journey of Destiny, he can place 1 Journey of Destiny from the deck face up onto his spell or trap zone. Okay. So the Journey of Destiny's effect is first time your monster equipped with a equipped card will be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed once per turn. And you can activate each of the effects of the Journey of Destiny once per turn. During your main phase, you can add one monster that lists the Brave token in the text from the deck to your hand, and you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard. And if a monster is normal or special summon, you can take one equipped spell that specifically lists Brave token in its text from the deck and either add it to your hand or equip your Brave token.
Also, whole response with his train effect.
Yes, I think his targeting is itself, or he targets the equipment, the monster itself. Actually, Ziho's train still has 2 materials. He did not respond yet.
Oh.
Yeah, he still has 2 materials.
No, he dropped one already. The Citadel is in the graveyard.
Oh, is it? I'm looking at 2.
Just the field zone.
Ah, okay, sure. So he sends Citadel and he protects himself, I guess. So I guess that is the Wandering Gryphon Rider from the Brave token series. Okay, he uses his monster to go drop C's to go into Meow Meow Moo. And drop C's effect is chain 1, chain 2 will be the Pranket's House effect. So in this case, Ziho cannot respond with a Ash Blossom to negate off drop C's special summon effect from the deck. I guess this is a very interesting variant.
Yes.
Prankets. I've never seen a Brave token Prankets deck before. I'm wondering actually how is the Prankets, how is the Brave token gonna work in a Prankets deck? So he used the 2 Prankets monster as a link summon to go for the Dodo. Actually, I felt that, right? He possibly played the Brave token just to bring out the Wandering Gryphon Rider, so that the Wandering Gryphon Rider is actually a negation. Because if when a card or effect is activated while he controls a Brave token, he can just shuffle the card in the deck, and if he do, he can just negate the activation and destroy the card. So basically, the Rite of Aramesia is the one card to bring out the Gryphon, which acts as a negation for the deck itself. Yenho probably did not play any of the equipment. Actually, from what I can see from here, he actually plays 1 copy each of the Brave token stuff, which is 1 Rite of Aramesia and 1 Journey of Destiny. So Dodo Doodle-Doo uses his effect to retrieve 2 of the Prankets monsters from the graveyard back to the hand.
Lamsey and Fancy.
Yep, Lamseys and Fancies. One thing about Prankets is, right, if they really build up their Great Wall, it's hard to penetrate the defense, right? You can see they are also very good at recovering their life points. Even though Yenho is not going too much on the offensive, we can see that he only attacked once previously, right? All the damage is either dealt by Lamseys, if not, he's like widening the gap of life points gap by drop C's, increasing life point by 1,000 every turn. So far, Yenho is at 11,000 life points and Ziho is at 5,000. I guess it's the end phase of the turn, and Yenho uses the Prankets Prank effect to shuffle 3 Prankets monsters in the graveyard back to the deck just to draw 1 card. So we now know that Yenho can probably prepare for Battle Butler next turn, and he also has a Gryphon to negate anything that Ziho is going to throw at him. So 2 disruptions. And the next turn, if I'm not wrong, the Journey of Destiny, every main phase he can just add 1 monster that leaves Brave token in the text to the hand. So every turn he can add the Gryphon to the hand for free every turn, but he just has to send something to the graveyard. So during Ziho's turn, Yenho responds with a preemptive Maxi.
No.
He was chaining over to the
correct.
train. for the Super Express Bullet Train. So 之后 special summons the Super Express Bullet Train and he turns Dora into attack position. I think you know what is coming, right?
But before that, Yan Ho activates Pandemonium.
Yep. Actually, this could be like a full counter. You know? If Battle Ballad is summoned and Battle Ballad uses the effect and Dora uses the effect to protect itself, he can respond with the Wandering Gryphon to negate the Dora and send it back. To destroy it, and Gryphon will just return back to the deck. And Ziho, despite not dealing any damage yet, is still receiving damage from Lamses. Brankate's House effect will also increase the attack of all its monsters by 500 points.
So now he's going to resolve the effect of all 3 Brankate's monsters.
Actually, previously, I think he did not use the Super Express Bullet Trains effect. He actually used the Link Monsters effect to special summon the level 10 train back into defense mode. Yeah, because I think the Super Express Bullet Trains effect to SP from the hand is from the hand. Yeah, it's from the hand. It's not a grave effect. Okay, he declares attack over with Battler Butler. And Butler uses the effect to tribute to destroy everything. And Ziho actually responds by sending the Super Express Bullet Train as well as Machina Fortress to the graveyard.
For Forbidden Droplet.
Yes, for Forbidden Droplet. So at this point in time, only Yan Ho is unable to respond with monster effects. But he responds with a Cross-Out Designator. So does he play a Forbidden Droplet in his deck? Does he play? That's the question. If it does, it probably just sealed the game for Yan Ho. Did he main it? I get what is he trying to do, because he chains over to the Forbidden Droplets, right? And then Forbidden Droplets is you cannot chain directly to itself.
I see.
But he can chain to his own Cross-Out Designator.
Oh, that's a very ingenious move.
Correct.
Cross-Out Designator by declaring a random card.
Correct. And then Ziho actually activates Dora's effect to try and protect itself by being negated by Wandering Gryphon. Right? Negating, destroying, and Running Gryphon returns back to the main deck. So in the end, Battler Butler's effect is still resolved, and everything, all the monsters on Ziho's field is being destroyed. So Yan Ho just declares an Ash Blossom out of the blue, and I don't think he really want to draw it the next turn or so if he wants to just go on with the play. So because all of the machine monsters are being destroyed, Ziho revives the Machina Citadel from the graveyard. But however, Yan Ho doesn't have enough disruption for his Machina Citadel. But did he draw one card due to Maxi? I mean, he's supposed to draw one, because in this turn the Maxi was in effect. So Citadel battles and has destroyed Roxy's.
Alright, main phase 2.
Yep.
Ziho is going to use his Rune Force effect again.
Yep. He's going to banish machines equal to level 12 or more to bring back Reinforce from the graveyard. Just to note, if Reinforce is destroyed, right, he'll bring back the Fortress. And we all know what happens when Fortress gets destroyed also as well by a battle, right? You can just pull something down with it. Reinforce is really big. It's a whooping 4,100 defense points and 4,000 attack points. So it's Yan Ho's turn. He draws.
I believe those draws are from the
Maxi. Ah, okay, okay. At least he remembers to draw right now, but previously he might have forgotten because of Maxi's effect. But does he have what it takes to bring, you know, clear off Ziho's field? Because you know now Ziho has a disruption, reinforce, destroy it, and then can destroy opponent's monster with 4,000 or below attack. And then if reinforce is destroyed by battle or card effect, right, even by your own, you can spell summon back the fortress. So in the sense that you don't really lose cards from it. So he's used the Journey of Destiny to search for the Wandering Gryphon, and Wandering Gryphon uses its own effect to special summon itself onto the field. This is probably to block off Citadel's effect. Is he using Citadel's effect? I think, Jason, I think this is probably the most interactive deck that we have all day.
Yes.
And I'm actually so glad that it is our final 6th round, and at least we are able to witness an exciting match.
It's two very unique and interesting deck build.
Correct.
Piloted by players as well.
Yeah. Okay, so I think Yanho has ended his turn, and he's using the Prankit Pranks effect to shuffle 3 Prankit monsters back to the deck, and then to draw 1. Prankit cards, you can actually shuffle even the Pandemonium. And he draws 1 because of Prankit's prank, and then ended his turn. So in Ziho's turn, he's making a swift change of positions for his monsters, and he's going to go straight into the battle phase, getting rid of 2 of Yanho's defense position monsters. And do note, even though Yanho's actually put in the Brave token cards inside, right, he doesn't have any more cards that can generate the Brave token anymore. Because the Journey of Destiny, if I'm not wrong, it doesn't generate monsters for you. It doesn't generate a Brave token for you. You can search for the Gryphon, but it doesn't generate token for you. It's only the Rite of Aramasha that actually generates the Brave token. So I guess he summoned the Pegasus Train and goes for a Exit summon. Gigantamax, right? Gigantamax.
Yes, Gigantamax.
Giganto X, sorry, X. Right, he searches for the Machina Unclasper. I think it's the corrupted Machina sniper, right? So that one is added to the hand, except by drawing, you can special summon out. Then you can send 1 Machina monster from the deck to the graveyard. Oh wow. Ziho has committed to 5 summons and has suffered the wrath of Nibiru, the Primal Being. So they're actually tabulating the attack and defense strength of the Nibiru token. So what Ziho is going to do now is also to banish machine monsters whose level equals to 12 or more, and then to bring back Reinforce in defense mode to keep up his defense, because Reinforce is really has 4,100. It's hard to break through. And that monster's attack is quite huge. We have a Garganridai, and we have a Giganto X, and we have, I think, one of the Citadel. Was it Citadel got attributed as well? So it's Yanho's turn again. And I think Ziho doesn't have any more cards in his hand.
Yes, all his resources are on his field right now.
Yeah. Though if Machina Reinforce gets destroyed, he can bring back his Machina Citadel or his Machina Fortress. Ah, okay.
All right, Yanho has another Aqua Maiden. And he goes for the same Brave combo again to bring out the token.
How do you bring up the token again? Oh, he has Aquamancer.
Yeah, that's his second one that he used.
Ah. Ah, I see. Actually, you can banish the card from hand or graveyard and add the right Aramesha from your deck to the graveyard, deck or graveyard to your hand. So it adds back the right Aramesha and plays the right Aramesha. Ah, I see. Interesting, interesting. Let's go for Link Summon off into Nightmare Unicorn. It's going to discard a card to send Ruin Force back to the deck. But how is he going to deal with the Nibiru token? So that's the problem now. So he normal summons the Prankate's Lamses, and he goes for Access Code Talker, which seals the game for Yanho.
Ziho concedes even before Access Code Talker hits the field.
Yeah, I think that's a really exciting round one displayed by both Yanho and Ziho.
Yes, there was plenty of back and forth between both players.
Yes, I gotta thank them for such an exciting match for the whole day, and it's really fitting for it to be the final Swiss round.
And for players who enjoys playing unique and interesting decks, so these two are really unique and interesting in their own sense.
Correct.
So, Train Machina deck, no one is playing this currently, and I believe he's the only one in this whole tournament that's running it right now.
Correct. And the next I think we have a couple of Prankates in the in today's tournament. Just that Yanho is, I think he's probably one of the only ones that are playing with the right of Aramesha. I mean the Brave token cards. Basically, even though the deck build pack Grand Creators were only released yesterday, Yanho proves that you don't really need that many copies of the Rite of Aramesha and as well as the Journey of Destiny. So you just need only one copy of each, but you probably will need more copies of the Aquamancer.
That's a very brave move on his own as well, because he's bringing a fresh deck idea to the tournament scene on his release weekend.
Yes. And I am guessing that he has a pretty good score to head over to the final round of the Swiss instead. I think he has 4 wins, right?
Alright, both players are at 4 wins right now. So winning this round will be crucial to
make it the top 16, right? Yeah.
But it's still hard to say yet, because this is only game 1 and Ziho still has a chance to make a comeback.
Correct.
So
against Prankates, I feel that Prankates being a tempo deck, right? And sometimes they don't really commit too much to the field. They only start committing after you build your field. So in my opinion, sometimes cards like Evenly Match is not very useful against it, and you can't really play Lightning Storm against them as well. I mean, you could play it just to get rid of the Prankate's Pandemonium that's set behind, to preemptively force the Prankate's player to fusion summon first. Then maybe from there you can go for an Evenly Match or whatnot. But I do know one card that they're very vulnerable to, and I guess it should just be Nibiru, the Primal Being. Yeah. But seeing that Yanho is already maining Nibiru in the first place, with the Crossout Designator, it probably has little to fear for Nibiru, the Primal Being. So, a question. What would be a good card to side against Ziho?
yes, that's a very interesting.
I mean, he does special summon, sometimes a little bit much. Nibiru can work against him. But as we can see from game 1, he starts off his turn with just 1 normal summon and 2 set cards, and that's it. No combos.
I think Lancia might be a decent choice. to stop Rune Force from coming back.
True, he needs to banish in order to return. Okay, and the duel has started with Yan-Ho going first. So apparently Zihu had lost the first game, right? He allowed Yan-Ho to go first. Probably he has side a lot of stuff against it. So he used Fancies to link summon into Meow Meow Moo, and Fancy's effect is being countered by Ash Blossom. This leaves Yan-Ho pretty much only with one monster with low attack. Zihu opens with the urgent scheduling, and special summoning 2 Earth Machines, 1 level 4 or lower and 1 level 5 or higher.
And Yan-Ho has a Maxi
yes.
response against it.
Correct.
So,
however, I think there is not much of a demerit because the monsters summoned out by the urgent schedule, they are just there and it won't be destroyed at the end of turn. They're just there. So he has successfully actually brought out just 2 bodies there. However, he decides to take upon the Maxi challenge to go for a Link Summon. So this is the Link Summon of the double-headed Anger Knuckler. And Anger Knuckler, we know, is able to revive another machine from the graveyard by sending 1 card from the hand to the grave to revive in defense position. Level 10, though. So it goes into battle phase and direct attacks Yan-Ho.
Not direct attack. I think he took down the Meow Meow.
To the Meow Meow Moo. And the damage is 500, I guess. Meow Meow Moo should be 1,000 attack, right? 1,000, and Anger Knuckler is at 1,005, so 500 damage, yeah. So if you guys didn't know, the Ruffian Rail Car, right, if it's in the graveyard, because you're sent during this turn, during the end phase, you can add 1 level 10 Earth Machine monster from the deck to the hand. So he searches for Night Express Knight, or did he search for the Super Rail Express? He searched for Night Express Knight, right? Yeah.
Yes. So he set a card and his turn. So immediately on Yan-Ho turn, he flipped over his set card and his
Harpy's Feather Duster.
And he takes out a very critical Forbidden Droplet.
Yeah. As we can see just now, actually, the Forbidden Droplet was very hardworking, but in the end was still, Yan-Ho had to do a lot of different plays to get across this. And Yan-Ho actually special summons the King Alpha. I think it's the King of the Beast, right? So this is Alpha, the Master of Beasts. So as long as your opponent controls monsters who attack is more than you, more than all of the monsters you control, then you can actually special summon it as many times as you want. So Yan-Ho activates the effect to bounce Beast Warrior, Beast or Wing Beast back to the hand, along with how many he bounced, he'll bounce Zihu's monsters back to the hand as well. So he bounces the monster back. Yan-Ho normal summons Roxy's and Zihu responds with a Maxi. Yan-Ho is willing to accept the Maxi challenge. He goes to Link Summon Meow Meow Moo, activating Roxy's effect, banishing the Alpha and drawing a card. Proceeding to special summon 1 Brankets from the deck. And Zihu is looking to try and profit off the Maxi as much as possible, hoping to draw, I guess, into a Nibiru so that he could turn the tides, maybe. Looking at Zihu's hand, he actually drew upon another Maxi. Yan-Ho went ahead to Link Summon his Fancies and his Meow Meow Moo into the Dodo Doodle Doo and activates the Fancies effect to special summon. See, Dodo Doodle Doo searches for the Pandemonium. Fancies mills the Pranket's house to the grave before special summoning Dropsies.
So Dropsy is special summon and Zihu draws another card of Maxi.
Correct.
So with this much card advantage that Ziho has gained from Maxi, I think Yan-Ho has to try to go for a game on his turn.
Correct.
So, or he'll be overwhelmed by the card advantage, especially with how much special summon that Machina and Train can do.
If he's unable to reduce Ziho's life points to 0 this turn, he'll be facing a huge deficit in advantage, because Ziho is still drawing a lot of cards because of Maxi. I'm wondering, does Yan-Ho play the Borrow Sword Dragon? I don't think so, actually.
I'm not too sure, but Ziho considered earlier before the game ended in the previous game, so
I've only managed to see the access code talker.
So it's very likely it's going to be access code talker.
Correct. But besides access code, he has to also figure out whether he get another monster with about, I guess, 3,000 attack points at least to match up with access code, dealing a total about 8,300 damage. Alright, we have just received information that this is the extra turn 2. So it means now is the time call, and Yan-Ho is actually trying to play off having more life points than the opponent.
That explains why he's going all out against the Maxi.
Correct.
So typically you would not take such a risky challenge against Maxi, but since we are currently running in the extra time,
correct.
So this is the only move that he has to make to try to win the game and match at this point.
Correct. And the thing about Pran's case is that they can actually try to so-called bridge, either bridge or widen the gap through their various effects, like Lamb Seize, which is able to do 500 damage, and you have Drop Seize, which is able to heal yourself for 100 damage, 100 life points. So you can see Ziho is drawing off more and more cards at the top of his deck because of Maxi. So Yan-Ho summons Fan Seize and Rock Seize by the effects of Lamb Seize and Drop Seize. If I were to calculate the damage now in this turn, Dodo is at 2000 attack. You have the Rocket Ride is at 2000. And then, oh, he goes for Link Summon. So effectively, this is actually Yan-Ho's last battle phase to clear it off. He goes for Bow Wow Buck. And he continues to Link Summon. Bow Wow Buck also has the effect that a Prank-Hits monster that this card points to also gain 1000 attack. So Bow Wow Buck is now 2000. Dodo is 3000 if I'm correct. And Rocket Ride is at 2000. The total effective damage actually... Oh, he brought back the Pandemonium.
Yeah, he uses Dodo's effect.
Has he used it? No, he hasn't used it before yet. He actually used it for Link Summon to Bow Wow Buck. He used it to retrieve 2 cards previously.
Right, I think they are having a judge decide this right now.
Yep. So he activates the Dodo's effect to retrieve 2 Prank-Hits cards from the grave back to the hand. He retrieves Pandemonium, and there's one more, I guess. Is he able to do that 7,500 damage this turn? I mean, with Battle, if he managed to fusion summon Battle Butler, but again, Pandemonium is only a once per turn, right? No, Pandemonium can be used as many times as possible. Okay.
So Rocket
Ride is 2000 damage.
Bow Wow goes in for that
2000 as well. So it's 4000 damage, leaving Ziho at 3500. At the end of the battle phase, Ziho activates the evenly match to ask Yanho to choose. Would you want to keep Bow Wow Bug there, or would you like to keep Rocket Ride? So he banishes Rocket Ride, which I can understand why. It's because Bow Wow Bug is able to retrieve 2 cards, and that turn prevent all its monsters, Prankate's monsters, from being destroyed by card effects. So in his next turn, when he effectively fusion summons out Battle Butler and uses all of his Prankate's monsters effects, right, to special summon himself, effectively he has a great wall there, great defense, and can only be destroyed by battle. He can also do another play, which is he only uses 2 Prankate's monsters for fusion summon to go into the Prankate's Weather Washer. So Prankate's Weather Washer is actually a opponent's turn version of the Rocket Ride. It is during opponent's turn, it can tribute itself to bring back 2 Prankate's monsters from the grave. Then that turn, those Prankate's monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So using Bow Wow Bug's effect as well as Weather Washer's effect, effectively those monsters brought back cannot be destroyed by both card effects and battle.
Suho activates Happy Feather Duster, forcing Yanho to respond with Pandemonium.
Correct.
So it seems like that is the Weather Washer that you mentioned earlier.
Correct. So at this point in time, Bow Wow Bug's effect actually affects for the whole turn. It doesn't only affect the Prankates that are currently on the field, it affects for the whole turn. It's only Weather Washer that only protects the monster that it brings back with its effect from being destroyed by battle. So by hook or by crook, Ziho has to get rid of the monsters by not using effect or battle destruction.
So he opens with a Machina deployment.
Correct. And Ziho's life points got reduced by 500 because Yanho used Lamses for the fusion summon. And Lamses' effect is able to still do damage, but you can choose whether to special summon or not. So Ziho activates the Machina redeployment. Right, and he sends the Express Knight to the graveyard to revive back the Machina Fortress. He also activates the Super Express Bullet Train from the hand to special summon itself. So one is level 10, one is level 7, if I'm not wrong, for Machina Fortress. The difference in life points between the both of them is at 6,005. Ziho normal summons yet another fan favorite, Gear Frame. And searches for yet another Machina Fortress.
So he special summons the second Machina Fortress
by sending out Rune Force. I think he discarded Rune Force as well, sending to the graveyard. He used 2 of them as a link material to link summon. Is he going to bring out the Angry Knuckler again? Anger Knuckle. Or is he going to bring out the Clifford? Effectively, Ziho has to find a way to deal piercing damage.
Yeah, Yanho has somehow managed to find a way to build a wall for this turn.
Yes, I think he has to do piercing damage. Using Sky Palace Gangan Redai is not going to help also as well because it destroys cards and basically all the practice monsters are protected from effect destruction this turn because of Bow Wow Bug. He summons out Anger Knuckler and uses Anger Knuckler effect to send itself to bring back a level 10 machine monster in the graveyard. He brings back Night Express Knight to go for Gustav Max. So Gustav Max effects activate dealing 2000 damage, bridging the gap into 4,500 life points of difference. So now the question is he able to fire Gustav Max a few more times?
So Reinforce comes back.
Reinforce is revived by banishing monsters equals to level 12 and above, machine monsters from graveyard. Right? Fortress is revived. Does Libe has piercing? Oh no, Libe does not have piercing. So Libe's effect is once per turn can detach one material against 2000 attack and defense. For the rest of the turn, it can only declare attack with Libe. Yeah, and then during each of the battle phase, this card can make attacks on monsters up to the number of axis material it has +1. I am looking at a lot of monsters and returning back to the field. But however, Weather Watcher's effect is probably going to get activated. He actually used the Meow Meow Moo's effect to substitute the cost that's going to be paid by Weather Watcher. This is a very smart move because then Weather Watcher cannot be caught by the grave. The only card now actually could save him is actually caught by the grave because Weather Watcher had the tribute itself. But he prevented that. I think the only good thing out of this is that Weather Watcher's effect can only be used once per turn. However, only Weather Watcher itself can be destroyed by battle. Only Roxy's and Fancy's cannot be destroyed by battle, but all of them cannot be destroyed by card effects. And one thing Yen Ho did correctly was he didn't wait for Ziho to enter the battle phase. Then he activates Weather Watcher effect. He waits for the end of the main phase first, using the effect before letting Ziho return back to his main phase. So this in the end prevents Ziho from using Reinforce effect to negate and destroy. I mean, he can't destroy, but he can negate and half his own life points and Yen Ho's life points. So he goes for Clifford Genius, I guess. I think it's Clifford Genius. So this spell Link Summon card is unaffected by spell traps, and the effects are other link monsters, and you can target one face-up card on each player's field, and both of those cards have the effects negated until the end of the turn. So he goes for another, I think, rank 10 exceeds. Would it be another Gustav Max? Gangan Redye? Okay, it is Gangan Redye, and Gangan Redye's effect is to detach one material to target one card your opponent controls to destroy that target. However, cards cannot be destroyed because of Bow Wow Bug.
Yeah. So
and Ziho has, from the expression, I think Ziho just realized that Bow Wow's Bug's card effect destruction immunity applies to the whole field and for the whole turn. And not only that, now only Weather Watcher can be destroyed by battle. But this is Ziho's final battle phase.
does Ziho has any other play?
But it is the final battle phase, and although he is able to clear off the whole field, in this main phase 2, is he able to do another 4,500 damage?
And the players are keeping their cards, I believe.
Yeah, I think effectively Yen Ho has won the game.